So you still tune into Sakisi's We're Building the Nation, Bodinasi, and today we shine a spotlight on Ronde, artist Snitchler's provocative exploration of desire, power, and human connection, now playing at the Baxter Studio. So originally written in 1897 and considered so controversial that it was banned, and its modern adoption by the director Leila Hendricks brings Snitchler's unflinching examination of sexual politics into contemporary Cape Town. This isn't just another play about relationships, it's an instinctive examination of intimacy as currency, sex as strategy, and the eternal human pursuit of genuine connection in our image-obsessed world. So through 10 characters and their interwoven encounters, La Ronde offers a mirror to our modern romantic landscape where the lines between performances and authenticity blurs. So today we'll basically explore how this timeless work speaks to contemporary questions about gender, consent, agency, and also the complex ways we connect with one another in 2025. So good afternoon, Awetu. How are you today?
Hello, I'm well, thanks. How are you? And thank you so much for having me.
And it's only a pleasure to be speaking to you. So firstly, let's just look at Snitchler's original work, basically revolutionary, as we know, in showcasing how power shifts between characters based on their gender, for instance, class, and also the circumstances. But how does your modern version explore these power dynamics? Like, what have you discovered about how gender influences who holds power in intimate encounters, for instance?
Listen, it's quite interesting looking at this text today, right? Because it was written in the 1800s. And today, women have gotten so much liberation sexually, and also as the youth of today, we've evolved and we've embraced the complexities of sexuality. But also in the play and with these characters, depends on the nature of the relationship. That's where the power plays in. You know, we have a housemaiden with her boss. We have a sex worker and a soldier. So people play their power and exploit the other depending on the status. But it's also very psychological power play and mental foreplay, if there's anything like that. So yeah, it's been very interesting, even for us as actors, to look into our own sexuality.
So very interesting. So basically the play also moves through 10 encounters, and you basically went into depth a little bit more around that, like revealing the different perspectives on desire and connection of the characters. But how do you navigate the tension between the male desire and also ensuring female characters still maintain their agency and complexity beyond being objects of that desire? Because I feel in the world that we're currently living in today.
No, absolutely. I completely agree with you. But we've approached this in a way that really empowers female sexuality. You know, even the LGBTQA plus community, we've really approached it with boldness and we're brave about it. But yeah, it's very, very interesting looking at how males take up the space when it comes to intimacy. And it's so fun for us now, today, to explore that empowerment as a female with another gender.
Definitely. And I would also just like to know, just taking in account the music also, because at the end of the day, the music also becomes a character itself, and that is just very fascinating. Mm-hmm. But what role does the soundtrack basically play in exposing the emotional truth behind each sexual encounter? Because, you know, when you are watching a production, or even if you're watching a film or so forth, you as the audience, you live into what is being done. And that is why the music basically puts that extra effort on that makes people cry, for instance, or it makes them laugh or so forth. So the music is basically that finishing touch on everything.
The adaptation, Leela, has our director, she wanted to set it in a contemporary Cape Town club lifestyle. So the music, what it brings in is the layer of sexiness, edgy, funny, ugly, but it really makes the audience feel, you're either moved by the bass of that song playing, or the saxophone, but each scene and each sexual encounter has its own sound to describe what kind of sex these couples are having. And it's just to make the audience feel.
And I can basically use my imagination for that. It's going to be quite an interesting production. But the production also looks at everyone is performing for someone. And that is also the world that we currently living in now, or how society perceives.
Yeah.
If you dress a certain way, then they basically say you're dressing this way for this person and that person. But how do characters perform masculinity and also femininity? What does this reveal about their pressure to conform to gender expectations in intimate relationships, like you basically mentioned, the extra touch that the music basically also reveals? I hope something won't basically happen while people are watching this production.
We as human beings, right, and this story is basically focusing on the human condition. So we're talking about the desire to be seen by the other person. But also now in desiring that, there's also self-worth. Am I enough? And I think most people can really relate to that. And sometimes power isn't necessarily in the intimacy, physical intimacy. Sometimes you have chemistry with someone because of intellectual stimulation. So it's really wanting to be seen by the other. You want them to acknowledge you. You want them to want you.
The play also features women from different social backgrounds, which is very important, and circumstances, for instance. But how do you ensure each female character has their own distinct relationship with the power, as you've mentioned, the sexuality, and also the self-determination, rather than representing someone totally different from who they totally are?
These characters, right, as actors, we had to really do dig up some research, because that's what people are coming to see, and the stories are about them. So our character development process was very important, because it's an adaptation. In the text, we get to defend our characters, that we need to empower her. So we have these discussions as company and with the director, and they're like, we need to give these female roles a much bolder. They need to be much more strident, I think we've done that successfully also.
Okay, and then also set in Cape Town, that is where the production is taking place. Your audition also must grapple with how technology and social media have changed intimate relationships, firstly, because online dating is a thing. It's a trend currently in 2025, but how do dating apps or social media performances and digital communication affect the gender dynamics in this version, for instance? Like, you also emphasize that the play is funny, awkward, and like, how do you balance the humor with a darker undertone? But at the end of the day, people still need to get what the play is about and the main message that you want to bring across. Oh, wait, let me ask it like that. Is laughter a defense mechanism for both character and the audience when confronting these uncomfortable truths about their desires, for instance?
Listen, the thing is, it's meant to make people uncomfortable. You will be uncomfortable, and we're not trying to shy away from the awkwardness or ugliness of it. But the comedy is there, and we've left that to the audience to decide if it's funny for them. We don't want to lean more to comedy. We're just here to tell the truth, which is our truth, and what the relationships will look like today. So I don't think that we should be hiding behind comedy and because it's awkward. That's what theater is. We're meant to make people uncomfortable and disturb them so that they are left with something. We need to move them, at the end of the day. So it's quite a bit of everything.
Just imagine a lot of conservative people coming out to watch the plays. Is it necessary for us to recommend that we put condoms maybe underneath the chairs or something?
Listen, this is for everyone, conservative, non-conservative. It's for everyone because it's important for everyone to even understand their own sexuality. And I don't think in 2025 that's a conversation people are shying away from. I think we're a very bold generation right now. So, yeah, old, young, whatever, come through and have a good time because it's a really fun show at the end of the day.
And I don't think we can shy away from these conversations anymore because, our learners are active from the age of 10 already. So there's no way we can shy away from these uncomfortable conversations anymore. So why not use the play to educate them on safe sex at the end of the day? So where and when is the play taking place? How can people purchase their tickets?
So we do have an age restriction. I must say that. It's 16. The play runs from the 20th of June to the 12th of July. We do have matinees on a Saturday at 3 p.m. If you'd like to book your tickets, you can go on the web tickets online or at your nearest pick and pay stores. And there's also block booking available. You can just go on the Baxter website and call the number and ask for Mark Dobson and make your block booking for people more than the number of 10, yes.
Amazing stuff. There's also opportunity for date night, for instance, 8 p.m. shows. You didn't mention that it starts at 8 p.m.
Thank you.
So thank you very much, Awetu, for taking the time to speak to us today. Just any additional words that you would like to relay on to us?
I'd like to say that it's a really important piece to see, especially our generation today, just for understanding what relationships are now and understanding our sexuality and owning our sexuality and empowering ourselves in our own sexuality. But yeah, please bring your friends and it's fun.
And how much does the tickets actually go for?
I think they went for 180. I'm not sure. They can check online.
But just before I let you go, as a creative, what responsibility do you feel as artists to address contemporary gender issues while also representing a work that some might basically find challenging or very uncomfortable in the era that we're living in today?
One, I'm very grateful for the fact that I'm an artist. I'm a black female in the art industry. That space for me allows me or maybe holds me or holds space for me to have these conversations. We're very lucky that in our rehearsals we can have these conversations openly, these discussions openly, and it's in a safe environment. So I think our young directors also need to start challenging themselves with work that speaks to these controversial subjects. Let's not be scared about them. That's what theatre is for. So I'm very grateful as a young black female artist to be in this space and doing theatre in this day.
Amazing stuff. Thank you very much, Awetu, for taking the time to speak to us. So
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
It basically promises to be more than just entertainment by what you heard from Awetu already. It's a confrontation with our deepest desires and most desperate searches for connection. So also this play is taking place from the 20th of June to the 12th of July. and what evening performances at 8 p.m. and Saturday matinees at 3 p.m. And given the nature of the play, there is a age restriction, which is 16 years old, unfortunately. But for bookings, you can visit WebTicket or you can go via Pick and Pay, you said, correct?
Yes, Pick and Pay.
Or the best way is go via the Baxter's website, and all the information will be there as well, how to purchase the tickets. So thank you very much, Awetu, for taking the time to speak to us today. Have a marvelous day further.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
So do go check out this play. So whether you're drawn by the promises of psychological insight, stellar performance, or simply the thrill of seeing something genuinely challenging on stage, Ronde offers an experience that will linger long after the final encounter. So that is all taking place the 20th of June up until the 12th of July. Matinee shows 3 p.m. and evening performances at 8 p.m. For bookings, WebTicket and Pick and Pay, or alternatively go via the Baxter's website for